Namaste, my name is Rinkoo Wadhera. I am an ICSSR postdoctoral fellow and my specialization is in folklore, gender studies and Indology. We are here today with Mr. Kumar Ohri, and a retired IPS officer, to speak to him about his illustrious book called The Majority Report. Now, The Majority Report is no longer in print. However, we are trying to get it republished by other publishers. It is an incisive commentary on the Sachar Committee report. To tell you about Mr. Ohri briefly, Mr. Ohri is a retired officer of the Indian Police Service and former IG Police Arunachal Pradesh. He was the Deputy Director of Internal Security Academy at Mount Abu. He is also served as the DIG Operations with the Central Reserve Police Force and IG Police Chandigarh during the Khalistani terrorist days. Well versed in CI Ops, he was decorated with the prestigious Police Medal for Meritorious Service and the President's Medal for Distinguished Service. He has also authored 5 books and nearly 50 articles on India's internal security as well as civilizational issues. Welcome, Mr. Ohri, to this interview today.
Thank you.
Before we talk about your book, The Majority Report, please tell us about the Sachar Committee report.
Sachar Committee report is actually, as I wrote in one of my this thing, it is a story of falsehood. That is, it's a fake narrative, because the truth is that in 5 human development indices, Hindus are behind Muslims and Christians.
Right.
That is, as far as less developed than Muslims in economic matters, in human development and indices like that, the infant mortality is higher among Hindus than among Muslims.
Really?
Today also.
Okay.
Similarly, child mortality is also higher among Hindus than among Muslims.
Okay.
All these facts were placed before Justice Sachar. I had made a presentation in the form of a documentary this thing, but he refused to give us time for interview.
All right.
And 5 reminders were written to him. He did not call us for interview, although he called for interview those people only who would suit his
own narrative,
his objective, his and that is why it is, I say, it's a classic example of suppresso veri, suggesto falsi.
Which means?
Suppresso veri means suppress, छुपा झूठ, सच को छुपा लीजिए.
जी.
And suggesto falsi, falsehood को बता दीजिए.
Right.
बढ़ा दीजिए. So this was that is how I summed it up in one of my discussions. In fact, there was a discussion in India International Center also on such a report, which I spoke. I think, and Justice Sachar was invited, he did not come.
So what was the aim of commissioning this committee, Mr. Bodo?
See, it's very interesting. You know, a group of Muslims had met the then political advisor to Sonia Gandhi, Ahmed Patel.
Right.
And they said that Muslims are in distress and we are a backward people. And then that is how this committee was born. They were sent to Manmohan Singh, and Manmohan Singh decided that Sachar Committee. Actually, constitutionally also it was wrong.
Really?
Because a minorities commission was already in existence. Okay. If Muslims were in any way hard pressed or difficulty or discriminated against, then they should have gone to minorities commission. Minorities commission was ignored and Dr. Manmohan Singh appointed Sachar Committee. It was a it was a violation of the constitution itself. अच्छा, और फिर उसमें ये है कि as far as education is concerned, Hindus are marginally ahead of Muslims.
जी.
And the main reason for the Muslims' backwardness was not analyzed and presented by Justice Sachar. Main reason for Muslim backwardness was low quotient of Muslim education.
All right. Mr. Ohri, we are often...
Muslim women are not as educated as Hindu or Christian women are.
Okay, then what is the reason for this
Reason is the religious dogma.
Okay.
They would like their daughters to read only up to 10th class, 12th class, and rarely go to college.
Right.
And this also is the reason that the Muslim women, girls are married earlier than Hindu girls.
All right. So you feel it is the religious teaching which keeps them
Religious
backward?
teaching was responsible for backwardness of Muslim women in education. और if you see वो परसेंटेज मैंने दी हुई है अपने उसमें बुक में
जी.
तो अगर आप उसे देखेंगे तो आपको पता लगेगा कि कितना फ़र्क है. अच्छा, अनदर थिंग, एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग मैंने उसमें एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है
जी.
वो ये है कि every Muslim household has more members than a Hindu household.
Right.
But only one person will be working, that is the male.
Okay.
Work participation of Muslim women is 50% of the Hindu women.
Right.
That time when I wrote, I have written that it was 14% for Muslim women, 28% or 27.5% for Hindu,
Right.
and 28 or 29 for Christians.
Right.
So it's a fact, and it's a historical fact,
जी.
that Hindu women work on a larger scale than Muslim. Although Christian women work ahead of Hindus also, that also is there. That's why their percentage is 1% higher than Hindu women.
Right.
तो ये इसका reason ये है. So what happened is that I have given a classic example that a Hindu household would have one husband, one wife, and 2 children,
Right.
2 earners and 2 dependents.
Right.
A Muslim household would have one husband, 1 or 2 wives, and 3 or 4 children.
Right.
Earner is only 1.
Or the children might be even more than 3 or 4, in fact.
You see, only males work. Majority women don't work at all. And
Right.
I can give you example. I have been admitted to hospital 3-4 times here in Delhi. In those hospitals, all nurses are Christian or Hindu.
Right.
There is a seldom a Muslim nurse. There's none. Seldom हो गया आपको. तो ये सारे facts हैं
जी.
which show the reason for the backwardness of Muslim. Now, as I said that Mr. and Mrs. Nair both work and they have 2 children.
Right.
Dependency is 1:1.
This is the example you've given in your book.
I have written in this.
Ji.
And a Muslim works, only he works, and then wife doesn't work, and they have 3 or 4 children to bring up. So naturally they are in poverty. What they want is that they should continue to work in that condition and should be equal to Mr. and Mrs. Nair. Mr.
Right.
and Mrs. Abdul want that we should have the same living standard, same status,
Right.
economic and social, which Mr. and Mrs. Nair have. How can they have it? It is the basic flaw in this entire construct.
Right.
So, Sachar Committee, then also he wrote all kinds of nonsense. He wrote that Sanskrit is being promoted and all that, which is a separate subject. I have written this thing.
Yes.
Although the fact is that commentary on Sanskrit being taught in schools was entirely outside the ambit of Justice Sachar. उनको कोई कंसर्न नहीं था इससे. His concern was only to about the
Find
Muslim.
out about the economic.
Why bring in
Yes.
Sanskrit in it? But he wrote a diatribe against Sanskrit also. In there.
All
So
right.
there's so many things. Now I don't remember all that.
Well, Mr. Ohri, the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji also made a statement on December 9, 2006, saying that the Muslims will have the first claim on India's resources.
Correct.
Do you think he was justified in making such a statement?
Do you know the story behind it?
Please tell us.
The main thing to note is that statement was made on the birthday of Sonia Gandhi.
Oh, okay.
The main thing was the statement was made on the birthday of Sonia Gandhi, that is 9th December. 9th December is her birthday.
Right.
And on 9th December 2006, Manmohan Singh made this fantastic statement that Muslims will have the first claim on India's resources. Then he modified it to Muslims and minorities will have that.
Right.
And with one stroke of pen, with this polished statement, he reduced Hindus to the status of dhimmis.
Right.
We were all made second-class citizens. Do you think that such a statement can now be made by saying that Hindus will have the first claim on India's resources?
We can never do that.
We can never do that. If we do it, there will be riots.
And it is unconstitutional.
It is against constitution. There will be riot.
Right.
But then, किसी हिंदू के कान पर जूं भी नहीं रही. And I had a friend in intelligence bureau who retired from intelligence bureau. उसका नाम भी मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ, but I'll keep it. The man is dead.
जी.
He has written a book also, Open Secrets, and his publisher and my first publisher were the same. That is Manas Publication.
Right.
I asked him. I said, "Look, my friend, why is this statement made on the Sonia Gandhi's birthday?" Because I noticed it. Press ignored it altogether. Okay. No one questioned कि सोनिया गांधी के बर्थडे पर क्यों. But I asked him, उसका साहब, sir, give me, after 8-10 days he rang me up saying, sir, can you come to India International Center? I have found answer to yours.
As to why this declaration
Why
was made
it
on
was
December
made on
9.
Sonia Gandhi's birthday.
Right.
मैंने कहा, yes, I will come, but I can't come today. And there he disclosed me that this was done on telephonic instructions of political advisor to Sonia Gandhi.
Who was?
Ahmed Patel.
Right.
It was done, this is what that friend of mine, his name was Wadhera, he told me, he said that this is what it is. Wadhera died for the reality. Now, how do you justify that Manmohan Singh would call it, says that Muslims will first claim on India's resources?
Right.
Although we are majority, we cannot say that we will have the first claim.
This violates all the fundamental rights of all citizens of India.
Violation of the constitution, fundamental rights, and also in very poor taste. Because by saying so, we reduce all others to the status of dhimmis. She used to teach at Brown University in America.
Ji.
She had coined this term dhimmi. Dhimmi means one who is living a subdued life on grace of Muslim empire.
All right.
जिसे हम जिम्मी बोलते हैं.
अच्छा, okay.
यानी वो टैक्स देते हैं.
अच्छा.
जजिया पे करते हैं.
जी.
और फिर उनका कोई भी मकान किसी मुस्लिम के मकान से ऊंचा नहीं हो सकता. What 20 conditions for dhimmis. अब I don't end of remand.
जी.
It is.
Mr. Ohri, you've written about the misrepresentation of Article 30 in deciding benefits for minorities in India.
Yes.
Can you explain how this misrepresentation affected the policies that were made for social, economic or educational benefit of minorities?
Now you look at it, it is the most stupid thing which has ever been done. Because basically while Muslims, Christians and others can set up their educational institutions, they can also decide what is to be taught in them. Hindus cannot do it.
Right.
Why? If it violates the right to equality, it violates the constitution, but a provision has been made in the constitution also,
itself,
which violates the right to equality. If
right.
Muslims, Christians, Parsis and Jews, they can establish their own
institutions.
एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन, अपने स्कूल कॉलेज वो है और उनमें जो वो समझ पढ़ाना चाहे पढ़ा सकते हैं,
जी.
तो हिंदू क्यों नहीं कर सकते?
Well, it was instituted so that they can improve or maintain their own cultural integrity or linguistic integrity.
No, it meant that it improved the stranglehold of Islam on India.
Right.
Because after independence, for 11 years, a Muslim, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, was the education minister of India, and it was done by Nehru. Why was it done? You tell me. It was that he totally changed the system of education.
Right.
And in that system of education, because Maulana Azad had no knowledge of Veds, no knowledge of Gita or Ramayana or even Hindu history, Hindu tradition, he was a very good scholar of Islam.
Right.
And he spread the Islamic concept.
So that is what we study in
11
our textbooks.
years.
Yes.
अच्छा, फिर उसके बाद देखिए, you will find that most of the time education ministry was with Muslim. Why?
So do you say that this was by design?
It was by design.
Okay.
It couldn't be accidental.
Right.
Accidental नहीं हो सकता. 11 साल इंडिपेंडेंस की, क्या उस वक्त there were no Hindu scholars?
That is a questionable point.
Question.
Yes.
Sampurnanand was there. He was a congressman,
Yes.
a die-hard congressman,
Right.
a secular man.
Ji.
But then he could have been made education minister. He was not. So ये इसमें कई mysteries of Indian history हैं. The mystery of Indian history is another subject requires research.
Which will require a great amount of
Research.
debate.
कि
and
क्यों भाई
research.
ये इंडियन हिस्ट्री ऐसी क्यों बनी?
जी.
तो ये सारे क्वेश्चन हैं.
Right. Ms. Ohri, my next question is, in your opinion, how did the Sachar Committee gauge and justify the dismal levels of Muslim poverty, backwardness and disadvantaged status? Because you have clearly negated all these things
All these
in your
are wrong.
book.
There is poverty because the earner is one and dependents are more.
Right.
So how can you compare them with the household of Mr. and Mrs. Nair,
So
both of whom are working?
So you're saying that the Sachar Committee totally overlooked this logic?
Totally buried it. He did not touch. I had pointed out in the representation which I made to Justice
Right.
Sachar.
Right.
Okay, this is the position.
Ji.
After all, if the work participation of Muslim women is 14%
Right.
and of Hindus is 28%, तो भी फर्क तो होगा ही होगा.
जी.
जो वर्क करेगा वही अर्न करेगा, जो अर्न करेगा वही अच्छा खाए पिएगा, अच्छे तरीके से रहेगा.
Right.
कि नहीं?
Right. You have also quoted these 3 very solid research works by 3 different organizations whose inputs the Sachar Committee took but overlooked the findings.
Despite our all-out efforts, 5 letters written to Justice Sachar.
So did you represent this on your own, Mr. Ohri, or were you part of another organization?
I was at that time working with the Patriots Forum.
Right.
It was a group of nationalistic persons
Ji.
who thought that Indian culture, Indian civilization is in danger.
Right.
And one of the main objectives of Patriot Forum was to highlight and bring out the demographic threat to India.
Okay.
Demography is the key to every democracy.
Right.
Because numbers are counted, heads are counted.
Absolutely.
डेमोक्रेसी का ये वो उर्दू में एक शेर है, जमहूरियत वो तरीका है जहाँ बंदों को गिनते हैं मगर तोला नहीं करते.
मगर?
तोला नहीं करते.
अच्छा.
बंदों को गिनते हैं मगर तोला नहीं करते. वो कोई किसका वजन ज़्यादा है, कोई ज़्यादा इंटेलिजेंट है, हुआ रही है नहीं, सिर्फ गिनते हैं. तो वंस गिनती में वो बढ़ गए तो आप यू आर इन ट्रबल. आप कितने ही विद्वान हो, कितने ही का हो, आप देखिए व्हाट इज हैपन टू यूरोप.
हाँ जी.
Europe is in serious trouble.
In what way?
Because of demographic disaster. The Muslim birth rate is twice that of Christians of Europe,
Okay.
more than twice. That is why London is called London-stan.
Okay.
It is there. It is there. And also, it's altogether a different subject. You see, also in most European countries, Islam is now, in fact, a British Home Secretary
Ji.
went to a Muslim-dominated area in London. He was told, "How dare you come here?" And London has, and Paris has, any number of no-go areas.
Which are
They are-
directly under Sharia law, to my knowledge.
Under Sharia law, and where neither police can go nor Christians can go.
Really?
You see, this is the reality of Europe.
Okay.
There is a city called Malmö in Sweden.
Okay.
It is almost more than 30-40% is Muslim. This condition is such that if there is a riot, there are frequent riots. Malmö is a famous city for riots,
Okay.
Muslim riots.
Ji.
And if there is a riot and a police car goes, it is attacked. And in order to protect that police car, another police lorry goes
Okay.
to protect those who have responded to the call of riot.
Okay.
So, these
So
are
you fear that the similar demographic changes which are occurring in our country can lead to a
demographic
similar
changes
situation. According to the Sachar Committee report, the school dropout rate of Muslim children is also due to extreme poverty. What is your opinion on this? Is it poverty that is affecting the Muslims despite all the benefits that the National Minority Commission has
there I
given
have
them?
explained the reason. But Justice Sachar refused to listen to that.
Ji.
The reason is that the earner is one and the dependents are 4 or 5 or 6.
Ji.
Whereas in case of Hindu, the earners are 2.
So which brings us to the Muslim households' inability to support so many children in schools.
Yes. So poverty is there. There is no denying
There's
the
no
fact.
denying this.
But the poverty is their own creation
Right.
because they don't allow women to work. They don't allow women to be educated. They don't allow women to go to colleges.
And there's no concept of family
आप
planning
ये
either.
देखिए, there's no concept of family planning because mullahs openly decry it. They have said it on television also.
Ji.
Now you look at it this.
Ji.
You are an educated person. How many Muslim ladies are doctors? एक छोटा सा सवाल है.
जी.
मैंने जस्टिस सच्चर मुझे एक दफ़ा मिल गए इंडिया इंटरनेशनल सेंटर में,
जी.
तो मैंने वहाँ उनमें पूछा, कहने लगा बिकॉज दे आर नॉट एजुकेटेड. आई सेड व्हाई दे आर नॉट एजुकेटेड? If Hindus girls can be educated, why Muslims can't be educated? He had no answer. I was sitting with a police officer, retired police officer there,
Ji.
and he also came there and he walked away.
Well, on the basis of this data, Mr. Ohri, Mr. Sachar recommended the issuing of various scholarships for the poor Muslims, not poor Muslims, but the Muslims as a minority community. However, we do have these extremely poor Hindus in the areas of Odisha, Jharkhand and Bihar. Why
Yes.
were they excluded from
now
the
you look
report?
at it. Professor Sanjay Kumar had presented a paper in September.
He's from the Center for Study of Developing Societies, to my knowledge.
I was also present there. I have also read a paper there.
जी.
तो संजय कुमार ने जो पेपर में है उसने बताया है, I have written in the book,
जी.
that the percentage of very poor people is higher among Hindus than among Muslims.
And the committee totally overlooked this segment of our population.
बिल्कुल. Actually, percentage of very poor Hindus is higher than very poor Muslims in this country. And I am not saying that. It is Justice, it is Professor Sanjay Kumar's paper which said so. Or
Right.
I have quoted that paper in my book.
Right.
See, the percentage of very poor Hindus is perhaps 20 or 25% higher than very poor Muslims.
But the prevailing narrative, Mr. Ohri, suggests that Muslims are far more backward, far more educationally backward and deprived than the poorest of Hindus. Is
Not
this
among
correct?
not the poorest of Hindus. They are compared to Hindus, you can say.
Right,
See, there's another thing which I have written in this, urbanization.
right,
Urbanization is the biggest driver for economic growth.
right,
You must be knowing it.
Absolutely.
I have quoted chapter and verse in my book on that.
right,
And Muslim population is urbanized. Bulk of Hindus are stuck up in poverty in agricultural sector, where hunger and unemployment are high.
right.
Muslims are all urbanized.
Ji,
Therefore, and let me tell you, I can tell you, if Muslims allow their women folk to be educated and work, they will outpace Hindus in no time.
I'm sure. Given their demography.
Yes.
Yes.
Given their urbanization.
Given
because
their urbanization,
urbanization
yes.
is the biggest factor for growth.
Economic development.
इंडिया में भी वो स्टेट जो ज़्यादा अर्बेनाइज है वो ज़्यादा आगे है.
Right,
ग्लोबली भी यही है.
right. So, why do you think, Mr. Ohri, no committee was commissioned to look into the condition of these poorest of Hindus? In
No one
these
bothered about it. Because
Bimaru
one
states.
reason I blame it for Hindu, I have written on it on Hindu elite.
Right,
Because the elite, educated persons like you and me, we have no problem, we don't need any scholarship. We don't need any doles.
right,
We don't need any special concession for setting up industry or all that. So we ignored our poorer brethren.
So we are
The
crippled by
poorest rich जो हैं
complacency.
वो Hindus, they were ignored because of the insensitivity of Hindu elite.
Okay. Since we are better off and we have all
Because
the
middle
resources.
class is better off,
Yes.
so they care a tuppence for the poorest of the poor. This is how it is.
Right. I would like to know your opinion on the observation of the two-judge bench of the Gujarat High Court on the recommendations of Sachar Committee.
Yes.
Why did they oppose it? On what grounds?
They opposed it because it is discriminatory. It is not a just thing, and that reason I have given in the book itself.
Yes.
And somehow or other, while Gujarat opposed it, presently the present Prime Minister, who was then Chief Minister of Gujarat,
Ji.
he is not opposing it. वो सच्चर के दिए हुए जो privileges हैं वो आज भी चल रहे हैं.
Sachar Committee also made recommendations for reservations in the armed forces, Mr.
Huh.
Ohri.
Oh,
So, which was shot down, I believe.
short done. He actually, Sachar Committee had a, उसने कोशिश की थी कि एक क्वेश्चनियर भेज दिया जाए,
Two.
which was objected to, and then later on Justice Sachar himself
Withdrew this.
withdrew that and removed that document
Where was this questionnaire to be sent, Mr. Ohri?
to be sent to the various district magistrates and maybe to army also
Okay.
to find out what is the percentage of this. Or Justice Sachar waxed eloquent about.
Right.
And now उसके बारे में एक और.
Please tell us about that, yes,
so
since
many
you
things.
are from
You know,
the IPS.
when I was DIG operations in CRPF at Delhi, after Mount Abu, I came to Delhi. So there was a colleague of mine, a gentleman from Madhya Pradesh cadre. He used to deal with the recruitment
Right.
to CRPF.
Ji.
And there was pressure on him that recruit more Muslims. And the Home Secretary was a Muslim.
Okay.
Barni was his name.
All right.
And ultimately he said, कि साहब, I cannot recruit people who don't fit into the requirement of minimum education or physical standards.
It has to be meritorious
It has to be that way on merit.
on the state actors to act according to the whims of the government, not policies but whims also.
Yeah.
Not only was the instrumentation of the Sachar Committee unconstitutional, but it was also violative of the fundamental rights of most human beings, violative of the human rights of all citizens of our country.
Yes. It was violation of, in fact, मैंने तो जब मैं when was with the Patriot Forum, I had suggested there that Hindus should make a representation to the UN Council
Okay.
that ethnic cleansing of Hindus from Bengal, from Pakistan and Bangladesh. To UN Council of Human, लेकिन there were no takers. हिंदू समाज में वो ग्रिट नहीं है.
And by this time, even the Kashmir genocides had happened
बिल्कुल.
So we could have taken
कश्मीरी
that
पंडित
data.
वहाँ से निकाल दिए गए.
into account. Yes.
And no one bothered about tuppence about them, Kashmiri Pandits.
So, what would you advocate to Hindus in the light of all these discriminations that have happened before and even after?
See, Hindu society must reorient itself.
Right.
And reorient itself and give up all caste classification. This discrimination based on caste must go. अल्बुरिन बेरूनी ने अपनी एक बुक में लिखा है that Mahmud so destroyed the prosperity of Hindus. उसने कितने एग्जाम किए थे that Hindus were scattered like atoms of dust. तो वो एटम डस्ट कौन है?
The various caste sections in our society?
शेड्यूल कास्ट. आखिर जो आदमी का घर उजड़ गया, उसका गांव उजड़ गया और वो भाग गया, वो क्या करेगा? जो नौकरी या काम उसे मिलता है उसने वो कर लिया.
अच्छा, ओके.
कोई चमार बन गए, कोई चूहे बन गए, कोई बन गए, ये सब हुआ.
राइट.
तो ये दे आर ऑल children of destiny whose forefathers were plundered, dispersed all over India by
The invaders.
Muslim invaders. लंबी कहानी है इस पर तो.
Right.
वो इनको करनी चाहिए इस पर रिसर्च.
Mr. Ohri, how do you look at the plight of Hindus in our country from 2020 onwards? What do you think we should do to reverse this discrimination?
Yes, caste system should go.
Yes.
And demographic decline must be checked. It is a difficult task.
Right.
Because we people want to live high style life. तो मैंने ये क्वेश्चन एक गुरुद्वारे में यहाँ दिल्ली में ही जब था, क्योंकि सिख पॉपुलेशन इज डिक्लाइनिंग फास्टर देन दैट ऑफ हिंदूज परसेंटेज में वहाँ पे. तो सेंसस 2001 के बाद ये मुझे एक गुरुद्वारा में यहाँ बुलाया गया. देयर ए लेडी मेड ए वेरी गुड सजेशन. शी सेड कि आई विल टेल, बिकॉज सिख पॉपुलेशन डिक्लाइन उस वक्त आई थी और अभी भी देयर डिक्लाइन इज फास्टर देन अस.
राइट.
हिंदू डिक्लाइन तो है ही, लेकिन सिख डिक्लाइन इज फास्टर. तो उसने एक बड़ा अच्छा सजेशन दिया. उसने कहा कि एवरी सिख फैमिली शुड एंश्योर दैट इंस्टेड ऑफ हैविंग 2 children and 3 cars, they should have 1 car and 3 children.
Okay.
बात तो उसकी बड़ी इंटेलिजेंट थी. एल्डरली लेडी. एंड शी सेड एंड वी शुड टेल अवर daughters-in-law that don't look for only for your comfort. You must look for the comfort and survival of your descendants, the coming generations of Sikhs.
Right.
तो ये बात तो ठीक ही है.
True. Right.
ये तो बड़ा complicated subject है.
So, Mr. Ohri, I would like to know your consolidate minority force.
Vote. That is वोट बैंक कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर बेस्ड है ये मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स. देयर वाज नो नीड फॉर इट बिकॉज ए माइनॉरिटी कमीशन वाज ऑलरेडी देयर.
ओके. So, do you think we should continue with this?
It should be discontinued.
Ministry of
there
Minority
was no
Affairs?
minority.
And what is your opinion of the schemes that have been specially instituted for Muslims by the government of today?
I had written an open letter to क्या नाम इनका जो मिनिस्टर ऑफ माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स हैं. आई सेड इट कि व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज वायलेशन ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड ऑल्सो इट इज ए वायलेशन ऑफ द ओथ टेकन बाय यू इन विच यू हैव सेड कि यू विल वर्क फॉर द कंट्री विदाउट fear or favor to anyone. This is the country of Hindus, where Hindus live, and where Hindus should be respected. That's all that. Hindu Rashtra doesn't mean that we will not allow anybody to come. You see that ruler of क्या वो गुजरात में जो था, क्या नाम उसका मुझे भूल गया, that Rana, he allowed Parsis and didn't say कि you convert to Hinduism. Muslim and Christian countries, why object only to one Hindu Rashtra? क्यों?
Because persecution is not a part of our architecture at all.
It is
Neither is
certainly, it is not
discrimination.
part of our architecture, not part of Hindu tradition, nor it can ever become part of Hindu tradition. I have the option, I would rewrite this constitution. And he himself also said it also.
जी.
इन्होंने अम्बेडकर का जाति की और वो बुद्धिस्ट बन गया.
Well, thank you for being with us, Mr. Ohri.